What's up, guys? It's Ryan Huber back again with another video. It's been a little while and I wanted to talk to you guys today about some questions to ask a flight school when you're first deciding what flight school to go to, or maybe you're transitioning to a new flight school. I know I do a lot of promotion about ATP and their flight school program, but there's so many different flight school options out there, whether it be Part 61, 141, all kinds of things. And so these are some questions I've kind of thought about you should ask a potential flight school or potential instructor just to kind of get a good evaluation of what you're getting into and to see whether or not it would be a good fit for you. And first off, before I get into it, I want to take a chance to show you guys. I've got these Fly Private shirts that I've been promoting lately. It's a little company I started called Jet Swept. So if you go to jetswept.com right now, the link will be in the bio. You can get one of these shirts for $29.95. But if you post a picture on social media at JetSwept, if you tag us, we'll refund your whole order. So we'll refund it for free. So you'll get the shirt for free if you just post a picture in it when you get it. So if you want one of these shirts, I've got little samples here for like crop tops and all kinds of stuff going on. It's kind of messy in the apartment today. I'm getting ready to move. My girlfriend and I are moving into a new house, which will be pretty cool later this month. But anyway, Jet Swept. So I want to talk to you guys about some things to ask flight schools. I went to ATP flight school for the majority of my training, and that was after I went to a local Part 61 school to get my private when I was in high school. If you don't want to know my story, I'm a corporate pilot now. I fly Gulfstream internationally, and I've had experience on the Citation CJ3 doing charter work, and I do some contract flight instruction and things as well. I'm still an active certified flight instructor, and I wanted to address this because I had a student that I just soloed. You might have seen my last video that I posted about a month ago now. Alex, my student Alex, I got him from 0 time to solo. It was a really cool experience. He's one of my best friends, and I was able to help him out. And then I went into some schools here in the Phoenix area and talked to them with Alex, with my student, because I wanted to give him the best option, the best fit, and help him in his training. Because a lot of times, especially if you're a student that's coming into a new school, you'll kind of get they'll make you restart more or less. They'll try and make you relearn a lot of things and kind of backpedal you and kind of just, flight schools try and get money out of students, and if you're not with the right people, it could be very problematic. So I wanted to make sure he was in good hands. They knew exactly where he was in his training, so he could almost seamlessly go along and continue, because I had to work and go out, and I wasn't able to continue training with him at that time. But anyway, here are some of the things you should ask your flight school. So, first off, ask how long it's realistically going to take. Sorry, as I adjust this camera and get set up here. Ask how long it's realistically going to take. So a lot of flight schools advertise like 40 hours, like, oh, you're going to get done with your private in 40 hours. It's going to cost 40 times, the rental rate plus the instructor rate, this much money. You're going to do it in $4,000, or you're going to do it in $5,000. And realistically, that's not very realistic. The average, I think, nationally right now is 60 to 65 hours for a student to go through the private pilot curriculum and finish Part 61, get your private pilot license. So ask them, what are their students realistically expecting? Say, out of your last 5 students, how, or talk to the students. See if you can talk to students who actually go there, or like find testimonials, people with previous experience, and be like, okay, how long is it realistically taking your students? Your last student that graduated, how long did it take them to complete their private? Was it 70 hours, 80 hours? Okay, well, if it was 80 hours, how frequently were they here? Were they here every day? Were they coming in, studying? Was this their full-time thing? Or maybe were they just flying on weekends? And that's something you need to ask. And then ask, can the instructors handle what you need? You need to kind of come up with your own curriculum if you're going to do things Part 61 and kind of do a local flight school. And I highly, highly recommend, if you're not in a program that's an accelerated program like ATP or something that's 141, where it's like your strict job, like this is it, your flight training to become a professional pilot, then I'd recommend like trying to formulate some kind of schedule. So say, okay, I want to fly Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or I want to fly Monday through Friday. And the more you fly, the quicker you learn, the more money you will save. I cannot stress that enough, because if you only fly, once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, I did it. I made this mistake when I was first flying in high school. I'd fly like once every 2 or 3 weeks, kind of to save money, or the weather would be bad, or I'd be lazy. And you don't progress, you don't learn, you don't retain information. So see if their instructors can handle that. See if they can handle your schedule. See if they can handle flying with you 5 days a week. See if there's someone that can dedicate that much time, and how they can progress. And then see who the instructors are. Talk to other students. Say, hey, is this instructor good? What have your experiences been with them? What are their strengths? What are their personality traits? Talk to multiple instructors. It's easy kind of to go into a flight school and you'll see the first instructor there, and they'll be the ones who kind of pitch you and oh yeah, I'll bring you on, or that's the first contact. If it's a good experience, then that's who you're going to go with, which is great. But get a couple cards and maybe write down some of these questions and call them each and ask them. Be like, okay, how many students have you trained in the past 90 days? How many check rides have you signed off for? How many solos have you signed off for? What were the results of that check rides? If they didn't work out well, then why? Why did that student fail the check ride? What is the school's overall check ride pass rate? How many flight instructors are Gold Seal flight instructors? How many are 2-year flight instructors? Things that are above and beyond. How many are master CFIs? Who is the lead flight instructor? How long have your instructors been here? Are your instructors here just to build time and then go to the airlines, or are your instructors here because they really want to be here? Which is, it's sometimes hard to find, and it might be a little bit more of an expensive option. But if you find instructors who are really passionate and continue to instruct, even if they are like my situation, for instance, I fly corporate jets. That's my main job, my main thing I do. But I also like to instruct. I like to continue to help people grow and instruct and build my general aviation knowledge basis. So are the instructors there because they're passionate about it, or are they trying to build time and then just get the heck out? So see who's been there a long time. If all the instructors are brand new and they only have a couple hundred hours and they're trying to just build time, then go fly charter or something, then that might not be the best place for you. Find a guy who's a Gold Seal flight instructor who's been doing it for 10 years, who does it because he loves it, and that's his thing. He likes to instruct, and he's got a great pass rate, stuff like that. Also, how do they reward students? Are they cutting people's shirt tails? Are they posting about it on social media? Are they active? Representing their students, trying to help them? Are they public about things? Or are they just trying to get your money? And usually you can kind of tell, what the vibe is. One of the great experiences we had, Alex and I had, when we went in to talk to the flight school that we talked to, was the owner was actually the guy that we talked to. And he kind of approached us just as I thought he was one of the instructors. Then we found out he was the owner, but he's extremely passionate about his business. He owned, this is another thing, tangent, but do they own their airplanes? Do they lease their airplanes? What kind of equipment are they flying? Another very important thing, but I'll get back into my story. So he was very passionate about it. It was his family business, and that's what he did. He wasn't some airline pilot. There's nothing wrong with this, but he wasn't some airline pilot or, some investor who has a flight school just as a side gig, or that's just kind of some side cash for him. This guy, this was his main deal. He was a featured AOPA Flight Instructor of the Year for the Southwest. This guy, he was about it. This is his passion. This is his life. And, he really cares, and he wants students to succeed. And you could see that. And you want to be at a place like that. You want to be in an environment where it's conducive to learning and the people are passionate about helping you. Next off, the airplane thing. What equipment are they flying? Now, flight instruction can get very, very expensive. And it's one of the most common questions I get asked is, how can I afford flight training? And it's very, very expensive, and it's all case-by-case basis. I'm going to do some more research on this to try and help people out, just to try and find more programs like loans and grants and stuff, and see how I can help people with this question. But I highly recommend, you're going to get what you pay for, and not saying that you should, go for the craziest option and pay a ridiculous amount. But at the same time, you want to make sure they have decent equipment. You want to make sure it's nice. You want to make sure it's safe at the end of the day. Pay for safety. Pay for something that's good. And does the flight school, do they own the airplanes? Do they lease them? what is the situation? I would recommend going to a flight school that owns their own airplanes or has, a higher investment level in their aircraft. Because if they're not their own airplanes, or, there's something weird going on, then it's like they're not highly invested in their business. So I would recommend going to a flight school that is purchased or has some agreement with Cessna or Piper, and they're new aircraft, they're nice, they take really good care of them. Ask about the maintenance. Who maintains the aircraft? Is it some guy named Joe who comes over? Or do they have a full-blown maintenance facility? Do they have a company that they work with? How detailed, how rigorous is their maintenance program? Look at their maintenance logs. And, as a student pilot coming in, you might not know a whole lot about maintenance logs, but if they can give you the maintenance logs, right away, just be, oh, here they are, and they're nice, they're neat, they're organized, then that says something. If they have to go through a million bins and file folders to get their maintenance logs, and then the maintenance logs are all kind of torn up and unorganized, then it's that says something. So, just do your due diligence. Really look into flight schools. Ask instructors questions. If you can think of anything else, ask some of these questions and write down other questions and, kind of interview your instructors. There's nothing wrong with that. This is your training for your career. This is your training for your safety of you and your family or whoever you bring up in the airplane. So, make a point in doing the right thing. I'll stand up here because this camera's about to start slipping down. But if you can think of anything else, any other questions to ask me, I'm a certified flight instructor, corporate pilot, based in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Ryan Huber. You can follow me on Instagram at WorldwideHube, or you can check out at jetswept.com for the Fly Private t-shirts. We're going to be working on some other little clothing, just fun stuff to promote business aviation and such. But yeah, guys, ask me any questions. Ask these questions to your potential flight schools and instructors. And if you need anything, think of anything else, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Always soar to your full potential and be great. Peace.